Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee kicked off across the United Kingdom Thursday. The 4-day celebration honors her record-breaking 70 years on the British throne. The 96-year-old made a rare appearance at Buckingham Palace balcony alongside her family during her annual birthday parade. However, the palace says the Queen experienced some discomfort during Thursday's events and will no longer be attending the service of Thanksgiving at St. Paul's Cathedral in London Friday morning. For more, I want to bring in Erin Vanderhoof. She's a staff writer for Vanity Fair and co-host of the magazine's Dynasty podcast. Erin, we're excited to dive in on this topic. Now, when you see that she's pulled out because of some discomfort, this must really be meaningful because the Queen's known to be so loyal to spectators and wanting to make those public appearances.
Thank you so much, Jamie. See, the Queen actually has been suffering from some discomfort, back pain and mobility issues ever since last fall. And when they were planning this Jubilee this year, they were hoping that they would be able to schedule it such that her health wouldn't be a problem. So for the rest of the weekend, the focus really is going to be on Charles and Camilla and the rest of the family traveling around to the rest of the nations. And the idea was that the Queen's presence would always, that her presence would be an added bonus, but her pulling out of something wouldn't be the end of it.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So many Americans may not fully understand the importance of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Can you explain why this particular celebration is so significant? I mean, I know we're celebrating 70 years, but can you talk about what goes into all of this and what makes it special?
Well, for one, it's just something that's never happened before. I've seen some people sort of being surprised, like, oh, I didn't even realize, like, we've gotten to platinum with 70. I didn't even realize the platinum was 70. But it really is a sign that, it's her first Jubilee after losing her husband last April.
Right.
And the significance of this is really putting it on the benefits of the United Kingdom being a United Kingdom for her reign and the way that she has worked with the Commonwealth and other nations around the world, that it's more about putting her focus on the future and saying, in 2012, the focus, her Diamond Jubilee was a lot about how London and England had become such a global nation and a really economically strong nation. And now you can tell that she's going into this thinking, how do we work on the future? How do we think about the future? And what is Britain going to be in the future?
Wow. So one of the major Jubilee events is the centuries-old lighting of the beacons. What is the meaning behind this tradition?
So it's actually a reference to this medieval tradition wherein different communities would alert each other of an oncoming attack by lighting a beacon, and somebody is far away. If you saw the beacon from miles away, you would light it. In the 19th century, during Queen Victoria's Jubilee in 1887, they brought it back as an idea of emphasizing the union and how, people need to work together to make Britain possible. And so this time, they brought it back for the Queen last year, in her 50th Jubilee back in 2002. But this time they've even expanded it so it's bigger. 3,500 beacons were lit around the world, including in the 54 Commonwealth nations. And once again, it's another way of her just emphasizing how important it has been for her to bring in as many people as possible into the word she always uses is calling it our great family, that like all of the British or all the nations of Britain and the Commonwealth are a family together. And so that was kind of spreading that message tonight.
Beautiful way to spread that message, too, when you see the pictures of it. I got to ask you, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, made a surprise appearance at one of the events. They haven't appeared with the royal family, though, in nearly 2 years. How noteworthy is this? There was speculation that they would be at something, they wouldn't be able to stand on the balcony because they're not working royals. Could this signal anything about their current place in the family, or what do you make of it?
So going into the weekend, the one thing that we knew for sure is that Meghan and Harry were planning on attending the service of Thanksgiving, which is a church service that is happening on the Friday morning, so tomorrow morning. What we figured that they would be in some, and it turns out actually that they have not been sharing their plans, very widely at all. Even some of the palace staff were unsure about what they were going to be doing. But we figured that they would, so Trooping the Color, which is a big military pageant that happened today, has always had a working royal component and a family component. So we figured that they would take part in the family component, and the working royal component had been expanded this year, so that was the balcony. So it was a little surprise. We knew that they would likely be watching somewhere where members of the family watch. So we were surprised that we got to see them, because usually you don't get to see in the Household Cavalry Museum has a building in it. So that was just some really intrepid reporters and some people who got kind of lucky, snapping a snapshot of them. But from the very time they left the family, they've always emphasized that they want to remain close to the family, even admit, the Oprah interview, and, definitely made that harder. And the Queen has never wavered from saying that Meghan and Harry are much loved members of the family. And so today they participated in the family event, but also did their best to make sure that they were following the palace's wishes to make sure the Queen was at the center of everything.
Well, good. Maybe a little peace, love, and happiness there for everybody as we move through the week. Erin Vanderhoof, thank you so much. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Jamie.